Did the film occur to you as a concept or a single idea? And what was the first expansion of that origin that made it all the way as a theme or through line in the final product?
The truth is, I wanted to get men to experience what it's like to be raped. That's honestly the truth.
Right.
And you know, to have their asses grabbed, to, you know, like the process of how to get there. And so I created a little 20-minute episode that I was going to include in my original gender reversal series. My original series was called Happy Hour Feminism, and it was like a small version of Galaxy, right? And basically in it, women sit on a table on a bar, and men come in and men complain about being fat, or they complain about their wrinkles, and they complain about being stay-at-home dads, and we help them. You know, we are the CEOs.
Gotcha.
With these big careers, but it was really set in today's reality, and it was just like this sort of realistic gender reversal. And then I thought, oh, what's going to be the fifth episode? And so I came up with the fifth episode, which was I can't remember anymore what it was called, but it was basically about rape and about reversing rape. And so I hired 5 actors, and one of them was this very large man. And we created a world in which he was raped, and he comes on my talk show, and my name was Q, and Q interviewed him and demanded to know why he wore such a sexy see-through outfit that led to the rape. And it became, and I'm sorry to say this, it became hilarious. Like, I'm sorry to say how funny. It was just absurd. Like gut-wrenchingly funny, where like we show flashbacks of him, right? And the woman who rapes him is trying to attack him, and she runs really, really fast. She's like 5'11". She runs really, really fast, and she climbs on top of him, like jumps on his like head and tries to tumble him down, right? All of it was hilarious. And then the police come, and they're like, oh, nothing really happened to you. You know, you're just this whatever. You wore a sexy shirt. It's your fault. You know, and so we go through this whole sort of reversal. And what I discover, and what I can't believe my own self, is how funny this process is of reversing genders. You know, how funny it is to place a man in this position, and to have, you know, women attack him, and then to have him explain, oh, he was like, I'm really sorry, I wore a see-through shirt, I'll never do it again, and you know, it was all my fault. And he's sitting on this and all the women are like kind of like attacking him, and we would have to take breaks to stop ourselves from laughing. Like you could see tears like running through us, and then we'd be back in action trying to act like this was real. And I thought, man, what if I like multiply this by a beauty pageant? You know, what if I take this whole concept and really, I don't say this enough, but it is about sexual harassment. It is about being objectified. It is about having your body on display at all times. It is about your body, you know, and being grabbed and being touched and being, you know, all of these things. And so that's how Galaxy is essentially born. It's born from this little tiny 20-minute episode, and I end up hiring all of the actors that I worked with on the
What
film.
A great story. In your fictional sci-fi universe, is there a matriarchal deity? And if there is, was there a book of wisdom similar to a Bible or a Torah or a Koran written through the acolytes of this deity?
In my Ontario world sci-fi universe, as I have described this is a doozy, but there are answers to this doozy. So my answer is two-part, right? Two-part. One is there's a deity in Galaxy360, and it's the galactic goddess, and the galactic goddess is a mockery of the male god. And that was all fun and good. But after I was done with that, I was bored. I was like, you know what? Let's go there. Let's invent a deity. Let's take this places. And so when I created Ontario World, which I've described as, and it's currently available on Movement 360 TV, just a little plug-in. But It's 11 planets that orbit the star Antares, and each one is ruled by female queens. And the way that I devise these worlds is that, you know, you have a multiplicity of deities essentially within each planet. So each planet has its own kind of ruling deities that they worship. So there's a water planet where they worship, you know, water deities. And then there's a healing plant planet where they worship the green, you know, the green deities. And then there's a cyborg planet where they worship the humans. And so because the humans create the cyborgs and they call them the godmothers, you know, they're godmothers, and they're always aware of their, so in a way, in the world that I've created, every planet is aware of its own matrix, so to speak. So inside each planet, there's a matrix, and then all of these worlds, right, come together to create what is essentially this Galaxy Ontario world. And currently I'm in the process of creating enemies for Ontario world, because I mean, the storylines, I mean, like I have this, it's actually absolutely incredible that once you kind of delve into what it means to create a world run by women, what does that mean?
Right.
Like, really?
Right. Right.
And also they have very advanced technology. And so I'm very engaged in studying all of the AI technologies, but not just that, but also studying technological advances in biohacking, in healing, and putting that into my world, but upping it, you know, like upping it a bunch of notches. So I'm very, very interested in like healing longevity concepts, because in my world, people live until 300 to 400 years of age, and they have developed longevity technologies that they introduce into their world. So everyone there lives for a very long time, and aging, visual, I call it, so I have a concept called visual aging. And visual aging is optional, meaning that a woman can decide whether she looks older or not. And the reason she sometimes wants to look older is because of gravitas in a situation where she's in charge. And then other times she chooses not to look older because that is her prerogative. But the idea in my world is that it's an optional concept.
Can I say that gravitas is slightly patriarchal?
That's so, yes. Wow, Pat, that's so true.
I'm so enamored with the concept of patriarchy versus matriarchy. It's my overriding theme right now, and meeting you is part of my education. So I appreciate your intuitiveness on that subject. So, okay, final question. If there is an overriding philosophy to Galaxy 360, where can it touch souls on a mindful level and create a hopefulness and eventual peace?
All right. Funny answer first. Serious answer second. Okay. You ready? You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. First answer is Galaxy 360 is your guilty pleasure into avenging the worst boyfriend you've ever had.
Good.
All right.
Good.
Galaxy 360 is your spa visit. Galaxy 360 is where you get to take your tears and turn them into humor. Galaxy 360 is for women to enjoy abusing men, and for men to reminisce and regret abusing women. You know, that's the funny answer. You know what I'm saying? I've had conversations with men who've seen it, who said to me in confidence, "Thank you so much for making it. I've done some bad things to women. It's made me really think about it." They've called me. They've confessed to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's incredible. I find it incredible. I find my movie to be incredible. I mean, you know, like when I set out to make it, did I know it was going to have this kind of impact? I hoped, but I couldn't have imagined all the different permutations
right.
that happen when people view art, or that somebody would have a 2-hour conversation after watching my movie and then drive 8 hours to see it again, you know, in a theater in New York. Like I never imagined those kinds of things. Now it's a question of getting everyone to see it and to be impacted by it. And so on a very sort of superficial level, yes, it is this fun house, you know, let's make fun of men and their bodies kind of, you know, kind of, I don't know, it's not rom-com. It's like the, you know, the antithesis of a rom-com, but based on a rom-com, you know, it's rom-com got wild, you know, I have no idea, right? Rom-com gone wild. Yeah. Okay. That's good. But the idea is that, you know, like I'm saying, for women, you know, women who are listening about narcissists and talking about their ex-boyfriends being narcissists and being hurt by men who are narcissists. I just want to say, you know, visit my movie for an hour and be a narcissist yourself. You know, play Illumina, play my character who's just a total asshole, you know, and enjoy it, and, you know, live in her shoes, you know, choose the man you want, lie to every man you want, get to have your revenge, and then, you know, really think about the world afterwards. And so that experience, that cathartic experience, goes all the way back to the Greeks and goes all the way back to, you know, the Greek playwrights who created these plays so that we could experience that cathartically and then learn something through that catharsis and then be able to change ourselves in our real lives. And so on a more serious note, Galaxy 360 is a bridge between man and woman. It's a bridge of empathy and of humor, and it is a film that will change the way you date. It will change the way you love, and it will change the way you converse with one another if you're open to it, if you can laugh at yourself. Because what happens with that movie is that it brings you there. When you come there together, it will make you turn to each other and ask each other questions, right, about each other's experience. Because there's something happening in our society where if we just for 1 second lift ourselves up, float above, and watch what's happening to women versus men, you know, we understand that there's a huge problematic, deep imbalance of power. And everything that's been done by women to advance their powers, and this has been happening, you know, throughout centuries. We get some power gets taken away. So it's like a push and pull, push and pull, push and pull. You know, and what I want to do is I want to just quantum leap into equality. I just want to quantum leap into a world where I don't have to talk about rape. I don't have to talk about sexual harassment. You and I could talk about a trip to Mars during our Zoom call, you know, where I'm the pilot and you're the pilot and we're co-piloting that together. That's what Galaxy is for. It's in order to turn the mirror up on itself, show you how ridiculous the imbalance of power is, and then let us build from there. Let us evolve from having looked, you know, into the mouth of hell, which is where we are, you know. And then once you look at it in the reverse, then build from that.
This is Patrick McDonald for HollywoodChicago.com. Copyright 2025.